Hello, everybody. Um, well, I've officially quit my job. I've quit my job because my job was just becoming much more obligatory forced labor than it was an actual job. And I have decided, as many people have rightfully pointed out, that this job was taking away from my ability to focus on other things. My family, my girlfriend, and God, of course. That is why I quit my job, and this is Sunday Apologetics. Yeah, I know, right? Isn't this something? Do you see what I mean about my job interfering with my ability to focus on religious matters? When was the last time we had a Sunday Apologetics video? I'm getting nostalgia just thinking about it. Before you know it, Sewer Tapes and whoever else it was is going to be back in the comment section, and we're all going to have a giant reunion. Unacceptable Babbitt. Yeah, I haven't heard from Unacceptable Babbitt ever since I posted that video of me and David Wood, where it debunked his interpretation of that prophecy, where, not prophecy, but the parable where Jesus told his followers to go out there and kill everyone. Unacceptable Babbitt, where you been? I haven't seen you after I posted that video. But either way, yes, through the grace of God, and God willing, I'm getting back to this. I'm trying. I even got my room cleaned. Kind of cleaned. So, yes, here it is, Sunday Apologetics. What is our great topic for today? Well, things have been getting awfully political, in case you haven't noticed. So, with politics seeping into Act 17 Apologetics, What Do You Meme's, their channel and everything, and I don't know, Steve Harvey saying something stupid about Islam, I decided maybe I'll get political. I have before in the past of this channel, but here's the topic for the day. What is separation of church and state? Walk up to any atheist, any at all. Separation of church and state means that your state cannot force you to practice any religion, can't force you to support any religion. It is a wall between your state and your religion. There's just one problem. The letter that they are quoting, because separation of church and state, unknown to some people, is not in the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution or something like that. It's a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote. What happened was that there were, I believe it was a bunch of Baptists in a state, wrote Thomas Jefferson a letter saying, hey, the state is becoming too overrun with this other religion. Can you help us? Can you help to make it so that our state does not become under influence of this new religion? And Thomas Jefferson wrote him back that infamous letter. He said, I cannot, because there is a wall separating church and state. Now, this is a very interesting point. What does that mean? Because if separation of church and state means what people have always interpreted it to mean, Jefferson should have helped them. They're basically writing him a letter saying, help, this religion is taking over the state, help us. Isn't this time for the wonderful atheist Thomas Jefferson to ride in on horseback like an atheist in shining armor and shut down the state religion? He didn't do that, and the reason he gave was the separation of church and state. That makes about as much sense as you asking me to come out and play, and I said I can't, and the reason I can't is because my mom said I could. It just doesn't make sense. So I did something upon studying and studying and studying this problem. I went ahead and I simply asked myself, what is a state? Now, this is a question you've probably never asked yourself because, duh, we all know what states are. There's about 50 of them. We have some territories. If Joe Biden gets his way, there will soon be 51. But the bottom line is, I bet you've never done this. Google the definition of the word state. Generally, yes, we take it to mean states like the United States, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, and so on and so forth. But that's probably not the state Jefferson was referring to. Not only were there state-sponsored religions long after the Constitution signing, but again, this doesn't make sense with what he says. A state can be any institution of government. It doesn't have to be what you're thinking of. So what Thomas Jefferson was saying was exactly the opposite. I can't stop this new religion from taking over the state where you Baptists live because I have no right to. That's not a right of the federal government. The state, Congress, cannot interfere. So this begs a very important question. If that's what separation of church and state means, why have people been misinterpreting it? Well, just like all the other things that happened in the early 1900s, it was a disaster that made it this way. A court ruled separation of church and state meant church could not influence the state, or the state could not have any church-sponsored religion, and that was pretty much it. It set a precedent. And for all you who don't know what precedent is, it's pretty much the legal grown-up version of, you let him do it, so why can't I? Ever since that early 1900s court case, it has been that way. People have looked at separation of church and state and just assumed they knew what state meant, and that church had to be separate from the state. Don't feel bad, I certainly didn't know any of this until I actually Googled it and I read the letter by Thomas Jefferson himself. All in all, luckily, and I don't say this just because Amy Coney Barrett is on the Supreme Court, I mean, people have been, coming around to this ever since the early 2000s. It seems like separation of church and state may actually be getting back to where it was originally meant. Can't say the same for California and New York where I live, honestly, but here's to hoping humanity will pull through. And in these times, we all have to pull through. That concludes this video. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good YouTube stuff. Ooh, the nostalgia. And I will see you back here next Sunday.
It's a Thursday.